it's Michelle from the Scattered Scrapper. Welcome to my channel. Today is day 11 of Scraptember, and our prompt today is a sketch by Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life here on YouTube. And it's got 3 photos, a little bit of mixed media or splatters, and this really cool looking kind of scallop thing here. So I'm looking forward to trying my hand at that. I have my pictures and my papers picked out. I have some little extra goodies that I'm going to use in the layout. So let's get started. For my background, I've picked out this orange tone-on-tone fall phrases paper. And even though my pictures aren't specifically fall themed or anything like that, I'm okay with that. They were taken in the fall, so that works. Now, for the scallops, what I was thinking of doing is cutting a bunch of circles from different pattern paper. So here I have my 2-inch punch, and I'm going to be just punching out some of these. And I'm still trying to be mindful of how I use this paper because I want to get the most out of it. I really like this paper a lot, and the color just, I mean, obviously they made it to go with all the other papers in the paper pad, so I want to be able to use it as much as possible. And I picked out this paper here to make some of my circles. So I'm going to have circles that have kind of bigger motifs on them, like this paper here, and then the one with what kind of looks like wheat. And then I'm going to have some small leaves. And you'll see that here in just a minute. But now there were 3 special looking circles in the sketch, and so I decided to use this little die that I have. It's a circle die, and it cuts out a regular circle, and then it also cuts out a frame for the circle. And you'll see that here in just a second. So there you can see there's the frame and the circle. And I go ahead and I cut 3 of those and just a bunch of other circles, and I have cut them all in half because they're going to make my scalloped, I guess, feature that this sketch has. And I just think this is very neat, and I can't wait to try it again. I think I might do it a little different, but I really like how this turns out. So as before, I feel like my layout needs kind of a border around it, and I'm just really liking the look of that right now, so I'm just going to ride that wave until I find something else I like to do. And so here I am just going through my circle halves and trying to figure out how I want the patterns to go. And I only have the 3 patterns, so you know, you can kind of get into where it's all the same. So I was trying to be mindful of making sure the same pattern wasn't butted up and against the same pattern, and just trying to figure out exactly how I want things to go. And I was looking at the sketch to see where the special kind of highlighted half circle belonged. So I kind of had to rearrange my pieces here a little bit until I can get them exactly how I want them. And I was trying to follow the sketch fairly closely. I find that oftentimes the first time I use a sketch, I will pretty much follow the sketch unless it's something particular about a sketch that has inspired me, and then I kind of go off and do my own thing. But with this one, I really did want to try and follow it exactly. Now, once I got all my circles down, or my half circles down, they kind of, not really blended in, but they didn't stand out enough. So I went ahead and used some distressed ink in, let's see, what is it? Walnut stain. And I just put some of that all around the edges. And then here I am using my T-ruler to make sure everything is nice and straight. Now, this looks really, really cute, and I really like it, and I cover up most of it. I hate that. I hate that I cover up most of it because it looks really cool, and I really like it. And I realized, even as I had finished putting them on there, that I put them a little too close together. I wished I had have spread them out a little bit further, the strips of the half circles. I think that you could have seen a little bit more of them if I'd have spread them out a bit. But here I'm using the little leaves with the navy background to map my photos, and I just have some white cardstock behind them as well to help them stand out. And these are just a couple of pictures. Well, there's 3, not 2, so it's more than a couple. A few pictures of me and my older daughter, and I was trying to get a picture of us, and she is the biggest goofball. She comes around and just lights up the room because she's always smiling and has just a wonderful, fun, bubbly personality, and it's almost impossible to get a picture where she's not making a silly face. But here we're just laughing, and she's being silly. But I do get one where it's, I guess you could say, more of a straight lace kind of picture. And I'm popping that one up on some foam here. But in these other 2, she's already, in that bottom one, she's got herself laughing. And then in the top, she's just being silly. It's so fun. She is definitely a role model for me to let loose, because I tend to not. I tend to be a lot more calm and subdued, and more of the watch everyone else have fun. I enjoy watching everyone else have fun. That's why I'm taking all the pictures, see. And so it works out. I get all the pictures and I can scrapbook them, and then everyone else can be all bubbly and fun. So I'm going to put these how I want them. And I was kind of trying to follow the sketch because I like kind of the wonkiness of the pictures in the sketch. But I did want the straight-laced picture to be straight-laced. It had to be nice and straight on my layout. But the other 2, because they're fun and silly, they can be all wonky. So I get them situated how I want them. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to try and use some phrase thickers. These are so hard for me to use. I don't know why it's so hard for me to use them, but usually when I pull them out, I end up coming up with my own title and just pull out my alphabets and the alphabet thickers and my little tile alphabets and just make up my own. But this time I was bound and determined, and I actually do get a phrase thicker on here, and I'm so excited. But there I was going through all these die cuts and pulling out some that I thought I might want to use. Nothing was really speaking to me, but when I picked up this 12 by 12 sticker sheet, these 2 stickers, they were like the main ones that just jumped right out at me. That teal pumpkin, oh, I love it. And the wreath, it's so pretty. So I go ahead and pull those off, and since I'm introducing a new color, the teal, I'm looking for more teal things to add on. That way, it makes sense that the teal is there. oftentimes it's fun just to have a shot of color and it just be in like this one featured place on your layout, but in this case I didn't want that. I wanted it to look very intentional that it was there. And then I've pulled out these flowers, and I think this is the first time I have ever used Prima flowers on a layout. I have some burlap flowers that I think are Paper Studio that I've used before, but I think this is the first time I've used paper flowers like the Prima flowers. And I was so excited. I loved them. Prima has some beautiful flowers, and they are huge and very dimensional, and I have the hardest time using them. Actually, you know what? I take it back. Well, I have used some big ones one time for a Christmas layout, but it wasn't Prima. They were Paper Studio. So, but I can say this is the first time I've used Prima flowers. But I like these little ones. They don't jump out from the page like some of those really big Prima flowers do. They intimidate me. But these are really nice. I like them. And in the sketch, Christy has some flowers. So I'm just going by the sketch on where she has them placed, and I'm going through and picking out which colors that I think would go the best. And I am so excited that I found these on clearance at Hobby Lobby, and they are the perfect colors for fall layouts. The two different shades of blue and the two different shades of cream, and then there's some green ones too, but I didn't use the green ones on this layout. But I did use the blue. It is more of a blue than a green, like the teal pumpkin and the teal in the wreath there. But that's okay. It still looks fine. And I'm going to use this Better Together. Oh, yay! I got a face sticker on a layout. Woo! I feel so accomplished. So I'm going to figure out exactly how I want it to be. And I really like how the Better kind of tucks in to the little area there underneath the photo, the straight lace photo, and the bottom wonky photo. It was almost like it was made for it to just fit right up in there. So I'll get that, and I'm gonna glue all of my flowers down, and I'm looking on the right hand side, and I'm like, so I have my visual triangle, right? But that right hand side just looks empty. So I got this teal leaf from the chipboard, and I think it fits right there where I put it. And then I'm like, oh, I can put a couple of more flowers. So I don't have a visual triangle, so to speak, anymore, but on the left side, right above my title, I have a set of 3 flowers. And then right now I'm putting on the right a set of 3 flowers. And then up there with the pumpkin, there's just 2. And then down at the end of Better, there's 2. So it kind of is balanced. And then also the light blue flowers are only in 3 of the clusters, and the dark blue flowers are in only 3 of the clusters. So it just kind of looks like it's balanced out. And then I'm like, well, since I have this little teal chipboard, I need to put some more teal chipboard down. So there was 2 more teal leaves on the chipboard, so I go ahead and grab those. And I have one there where I had put the wreath, and now I have another one here towards the end of my title, tucked in with these little flowers. And it's so cute. I am loving how this looks. I'm loving that little pop of teal all around the page. And now I'm like, oh, I pulled out this word sticker because it's teal. It matches the pumpkin and it matches the wreath. But there's really nowhere to put it. So I did try, but it's going to go back on the sticker sheet for another layout. And oh, I am so sorry about not having my phone on silent. Oh my goodness, you would think I would remember to do that. Okay. So here I have some enamel dots, and the one I just put down on that right hand side has 3 small teal little enamel dots. So I'm like, I only have black in my title. So I get some hearts from one of the enamel dots and stick them on to have the black all around. And then I put kind of a cream that matches the flowers in a middle-sized dot, and then I use the tiny teal ones. And here is where I kind of mess up. And it's not a big mess up. It's fine. I'm using my Heidi Swapp Color Shine. And I'm using it and making big splats. Because my original plan was after I had finished putting down my half circles, I was going to use those watercolors that was at the beginning. And I completely forgot about my watercolors. And here in a second, you'll see where I'm like, I was going to use the watercolors. And I didn't, because I was really wanting to put, yep, see there? I didn't use them, so that, oh well. I'll have to use them in another layout. But I think this one turned out really good. I love how all the embellishments all around the pictures are on there, and it's so pretty. And I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.